What's going on? It is Monday, the greatest day of the week. I always like to get a lot of stuff done on Monday, set the pace. So today we got mobile app freemium with in-app purchases. This is the first financial model where I got into advanced matrix calculations for retention of basically cohorts with recurring revenue of some sort. You're going to see how I set that up in here, and then we're going to start on the three statement model integrations, cap table, and just general improvements formatting to this template. Before I get started, don't forget to subscribe, like the video. Those are free ways to help support the channel. And we are going to dive into this thing. The mobile app model is part of the SaaS recurring revenue bundle for $289, which comes with all these templates here. This one would be number 6A. And I did make a couple updates to the site over the weekend. You'll see different checkout buttons. You can now uh, pay later, option for pay later, which allows you to either do it with via credit card or a pay in four payments, which might be interesting or helpful for some people, as well as a more clear way to get to the debit or credit card purchase if that's what you want. So I'm working on updating that for all the pages. I've done about 40 or 50. And oh, did I time out? I know I've been on the site a lot today. I might think I'm a bot. Oh, there we go. Also on the bundle page, so I updated this. Now the at the top you can buy the bulk and volume. I adjusted the price. I did the um, all mid levels are down to $4.99 instead of I think it was at like I can't remember what. No, actually, this one was raised. This was 350. I raised it to 499 because the mid-level templates have increased a lot since then. Um, I also changed the price of 10 mid-level templates, and then I adjusted pricing for the industry specific. I lowered this from 625 down to 499 for all the industry specific templates, and I also adjusted the HR templates down to 149 from 199 for all of these. So a couple little updates here and there. I also added a feed to the site where it shows my latest YouTube video. So some cool stuff there. Um, Now, every time we've done this, it's gone smoother and smoother. There are some new things I want to talk to you about that are in this template before we get into the modifications. So the way it works is generally you can define how you're acquiring users based on ad spend, a CPA on that ad spend, and an improvement in CPA over time. You also can define organic traffic and how that improves over time and the percentage of your organic traffic that downloads the app. From there, you can define some freemium logic, which is a percentage of new downloads that are free users versus the ones that pay to have no ads. Then you have monthly fee for no ads, the average ad impressions and earnings of your ad revenue. Then you can also define a percentage of users, this includes free and paid users, that decide to purchase uh, in-app purchases. So this could be like um, an app or a kind of a client where, let's say a game. The gaming industry is the biggest thing really to explain, or the most popular, and that's like you play a free game, but then there's a lot of things in game that you can purchase for aesthetics and all kinds of different things. So here you can actually define up to five in-app purchase types and the price of those different in-app purchases. And these could be buckets too, or if you have just one or two things, That's fine. You could zero out whatever is not relevant. And then you could define the percentage of your users that are paid for in-app purchases that buy each thing. And this is not mutually exclusive. So users might buy, um, some users could buy type 1 and type 2 and type 3, or all of them, or just one of them. So there's a lot of flexibility here. And the reason why I have 5 and 5 is because I that's probably enough to handle almost any general category of purchases, and it's not too overwhelming either for a user to try to model things out with this. Now, this is the cool part, retention rates. So instead of just having users, you have users that grow and churn over time, and the churn rate is just based on a percentage of the beginning monthly subs. Well, now it's it's more advanced in this model. So you can actually define the average length of time in years that your users are active in the app. And based on that, we have a matrix here that has, so here you can see logic, remaining free users. So based on whatever inputs we put, they're not starting until month 13. And they're, oh wait, no, let me scroll over to the left. So month 5 is the first month we have users. And this shows based on that retention rate. So month 5 users start at 28,000. And then based on that retention rate, there's an even monthly loss of those users over time. And then that's the basis. Each row is the basis for revenue, which you use to do all the other logic and calculations for in-app purchases and everything else. So this aggregates, and that aggregates all of this information. This would be solving for your actual end user count at the end of each month based on adding users over time and some retention of those. This is the most accurate way to model um, recurring users. Now, like in this model, they're doing in-app purchases or possibly paying for no ads, but um, they're not like monthly subscribers, so they could in theory stop at any time. But it's a very similar, it's almost the same logic as a regular SaaS model. For example, you could just put in, you could make these mutually exclusive, meaning they can't add up to over 100%, and make these pricing tiers, and it'd work the same way. Um, Let me go back in here. So Matrix 1 does all of the free users, and this is used as a basis for ad revenue, um, churn calculations. Matrix 2 is the in-app purchase revenue, which works the same way, but it's now using um, remaining users to figure out how much what purchases they're making over time. And this actually should say paid. And then the third matrix is something I did for payroll taxes, which just looks at, this is a more advanced way to do payroll taxes. Instead of defining the fully loaded salaries here, you could put enter one if it's a salary item, and then enter the actual salary, and then payroll taxes uh, will be calculated here based on this percentage, payroll taxes and benefits. So that's a different way to do it. You could just put the fully loaded amount in here and zero that out, and it'd be the same concept. And then you can see revenues come in based on our math for free users, paid users. We have ad revenue, uh, and then we have here. You can see we take the total existing users and multiply it by the percentages defined on that revenue assumptions tab to figure out how many users are making in-app purchases, or how many in-app purchases there are based on the users and the percentages. And then that's multiplied by the price on average for each in-app purchase to get in-app purchase revenue. And then total revenue adds up the ad-free subscription revenue, the ad revenue, and the in-app purchase revenue. So normally I don't go in depth with like model integrations as much as this, but I wanted to because this has a lot of new stuff that I actually use going forward. Like this matrix logic for users that exist over time is used in every SaaS model going forward from here. And it's also very important for that logic if you want to build any kind of enterprise SaaS model where there's varying contract lengths and different things. You can't really, you have to have that reference architecture to make it accurate and do a lot of cool stuff with financial forecasting. Okay, so now you know what's going on in this template. I'm going to start with the integrations. And the first thing we're doing is updating the formatting style of all this. So I'm going to these all need to be blue text. The color is good. That's a good shade of yellow. We'll keep that through the model. Remember, you can hold control down and highlight to do all this at one time. So we'll highlight everything and then see, it's a royal blue. I think it's that one. Yep. Okay, so we'll update that. This is going to get a full update, and this will be updated at the end. We'll go fixed expenses. Actually, yeah, all this can be blue text. Oh no, we don't want the black. We have to highlight these two. And we're going to give everything a nice light grid. Oh, missed a couple here. So the fun parts of financial modeling are figuring out new logic systems like that, but there's also a lot of monotony and tedious things that go on in really building out a robust model. Formatting, um, checking things, referencing things. It's not the funnest, but it's required to really get a complete product. All right, we're gonna remove all this because we have our own CapEx schedule infrastructure coming in. That's gonna replace this. So we don't need CapEx here. This should no longer be anything that's depreciable. So like change this to legal. Our debt tab is going to stay the same, but we're going to update a couple things here. The format of the date. And we're going to change this to debt schedule. This will be changed to startup cost. All right, that's good. This will be changed to global control. So to do the integrations right, we need to change all the tab names to match what's incoming, which is going to be all the things surrounding the logic. So obviously revenue and growth logic, this is all going to stay the same. This fixed expense stuff is going to stay the same. Startup cost is the same. Debt schedule's the same. But I need to update the tab names for a couple for the debt schedule in global control. That the global control is not going to be the same. And then we've got 3 or 4 other tabs coming in. So last week we used the product as a service template as our integration, and it went really well. Now there's no inventory, so we can let me think what it makes. I'm trying to think which one would be easier to use as a base template, the professional services or the pass. Um, hmm, Let me pull this up, the professional services one. So that all should be fine. Yeah, I don't think there was anything really unique here on the integration side. So we'll use this. Now we go into here. We also need to change the tab names of a couple other things. So this will be monthly detail, annual detail. Notice everything's got a space in it. That's going to be having a reference or import. Validation 1. Distributions 1. So CapEx is going to be its own tab. CapEx, cap table terminal value. Dang, I should have chose the light yellow tabs to copy because I got to change these now manually. There's all kinds of things you can do to try and cut the time down, and I'm trying to get perfect, get it down to perfection. CapEx, cap table, terminal value. Test schedule we have, global control we updated. What else is in here? Distributions 1 we have, monthly annual detail. Okay, so we've got everything except for the income statement, balance sheet, cash flow statement. We will add those. So let's go right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is income statement dash monthly. Income statement dash annual. Balance sheet. Whoop. Balance sheet. Cash flow. And I think we're ready to import. Change the tabs. These will be this color. And one of the main reasons I'm doing these integrations is I believe it will just improve general usability and provide anyone using the templates with a much more robust presentation of the financials with formal statements instead of just the monthly and annual detail and executive summary and distribution summary. Now, even though our monthly and annual detail did go down into EBITDA and cash flow, but it's not as formalized as what we're now integrating in here. All right, and then these were that's fine. That's all fine. Okay, so now the fun begins. Let me see something real quick. Okay. I better do a quick sound in check here. Let's make sure I'm audible. Yep. Okay, great. So fun part, let's start with global control from our professional services template. We'll get all this down into here. Copy and paste. Title this App 123 LLC. Now we got to pull terminal value, logic, and we'll format all these tabs later. Nice cap table with distributions and internal rate of return. This is a big add here that I never had in the previous templates, because if you're trying to raise money, and then you're going to have a cap table. CapEx. And oh shoot, I thought I changed the name of this. Terminal value. Okay, and then we bring in the income statement. We will need the trailing 12-month count logic as well to get our exit valuation, which is going to be based on trailing 12-month revenues. All right, last big part is monthly and annual income statement, balance sheet, cash flow statement. Normally the stream involves building new templates, but I've made it a mission to integrate all my startup models with all this new logic and new reporting. So I don't have time to do any new templates. I might take a break. I'm on like number, I think 8 or 9 now. And I might take a break if I could find a good metaverse potential model idea to build out. And I will take requests or ideas if anybody has any for that. Saving the cash flows. And yeah, the professional services model should be, as far as what needs to be on the income statement and all these financial statements, should be pretty similar. I don't see any real crazy things we need to be doing here. This needs a 1. I swear I put that in there already. Sometimes Excel doesn't update the tab names for some reason I've seen lately. All right, this is saved. I don't want to save anything over here. We've brought everything in, so that's great. We don't need this anymore. Make sure all the tab names are correct. Distribution. All right, now this is the fun part. This is where, in the first integration, I didn't think about how to do this right. So it took me a lot longer, but now I've got a nice system. So here we can simply go replace this reference to the workbook with a blank. And the key is every single reference to a tab name has to have a space in it. Now this is a really good trick to do if you're doing any kind of integration or formatting or trying to build one model into another one. So let's pray we did it right. We should be able to hit replace all and the whole workbook. Oh yeah, that worked. 12,000 replacements. We're done with that. So now I've just integrated all of that different logic and all of the three statement modeling logic linked to each tab. And you see, since the tab names are the same, all these references are preserved. And now they're just referencing this workbook instead of the other one. So that is the cleanest way I could figure out on how to do these integrations. That alone saved so much time and effort and potential errors that could happen while trying to make everything line up. So perfect. So that worked. Now we can just go along here, and I'm actually trying to slow down my production a little bit because I feel like I've been going too fast, and it's just too much work. Like, it's causing me to be a bit stressed and um, just have to go back. I've had some text-based errors that I've had to update on some of the templates, and it's not fun to do that. So I'm going to try and slow down on how many integrations I'm doing, which is I want to get down to just one per week instead of two or two and a half. So let's just take our time here. I'm going to go through and format each tab. Global controls are already formatted good. These we did. That schedules the first update, so we're going to have to do a couple things here. Number one, get to end month only if this equals yes. This selector was one of the most integral pieces of logic I put in here, to have a selector for including terminal value or not, because it affects a lot of different things in the model that you're trying to automate on the end month. Having that there makes everything a lot easier and prevents a lot of errors that can happen on the balance sheet. So if that equals yes, then we want to pull this end month because it's going to pay off the debt on that end month if there is a terminal value entered. Otherwise, just NA it. Let's see, we want date. Okay, and then here we're going to say if this date equals the end month, then we want to take the previous balance, pay that off, plus the plus the interest rate divided by 12 times that balance. So we pay off the interest and the principal remaining in that period. And then it flows through the amortization, which is better than trying to just do it separately. And to make sure it's working, we'll put in a debt value here. Oh wait, so we update the control tab. We got to update some of these references. So this is the first. So this is now going to be C15, not 11. And then we have this. So now you go scroll down, you can see on the end month here, And hold on, this end month has to be within the model. So it's like a puzzle. You got to follow the references. So now we update this, which has to be based on the first month of the year entered on the global control. Timing assumptions are sometimes one of the most difficult things, but I feel like the value of having them is so much greater than not. Where was I? Debt schedule. Oh yeah, so this. Now we can do our data validation on this. We don't need NA anymore. And the last month of the fifth year would be 26, 22 to 26. And actually, I'll put this to 2021 since that's what the base model was. Then I don't have to update any of the yellow. Now, note if you are using these templates, be sure if you change the launch year, which you likely will if you're buying this in the future from now, if you change this, you need to make sure you change all the other things that relate to date accordingly, like the start month of traffic and organic traffic, the start month of your purchase schedules, the start month of all your fixed expenses, the start month of your debt. Usually it'll be the first month of the template, but maybe not. All the CapEx dates here that will be updated. Yeah, that's it. So if those are, you make sure you update all that stuff and you won't have a problem. Note all of the current inputs are arbitrary that I have in here in the yellow boxes. So you'll go through and build your own case with your own data and all of that. And while I'm here, I'm going to update, get these to be light boxes as well. Don't the light boxes just look so much better? Line style, light. I just think it looks a lot better. So we got it there, there. This is updated with that. This can stay. And these are all updated like that already. Now interest, we gotta bring this down. That's fine, that's fine. All right. So as we move along here, so debt schedule now is all set. I shouldn't have to return to this tab for any updates. CapEx is next. Let's remove our grid lines here. Extend this out. And give this a validation. Drag this. I always stagger these 1 month and get the formatting back. All right, the rest of this stuff is good how it is. You can see we're referencing that control tab C8. That selector is referenced a lot through this template. This one right here. All right. What else? So CapEx, cap table is fine for now. It's gonna have to be, well, we can do this and this. Extend this out to 15 with, okay, that's good for now. We'll be solving the whole model. One of the big points of it is we're solving for the minimum amount of equity that's required to keep the cash above zero. And if you want a buffer or like a contingency, you can always go onto the startup costs and enter that here. And then in theory, when your cash balance says zero, you would have this reserve remaining. Sorry, trying to get some emails sorted out. It's busy Monday morning. Uh, where was I? CapEx, cap table, terminal value. Format this real quick. On this, we're just defining the percentage of exit value that goes to extraordinary income versus fixed assets. If you don't have any fixed assets in the model, you could just put 100% here, and that's fine. All right. I think we got all our formatting in. It's a slow Monday morning, I'll tell you that. It looks like we've only had one viewer, but that's okay. I know this stuff is... Usually most of the viewers on these live streams will come throughout the day after it's been published, which is fine. But if you did want to come in, I am here that you can bounce ideas off me or talk or whatever as I'm building. All right, I actually want to check something real quick. Let me get in. Whoop, where's the professional services model? Okay, yeah, so this should not include that date. It's not a big deal because this calculation doesn't go anywhere but right there. But we should have it. Let's update that. And we'll update all the rest. I'm assuming that's going to be the same for all these other templates that we've done. Yep. Products as a service. Now I need to do all the vendor of this one. I still haven't put the vendor version, which actually just has, I don't put links to my site on those. And those are the ones that go to Eloquence, the financial models, and CFI. Okay, yep, all these. I'm glad I'm not so too far into this. I've only done, like what I say, 8 or 9 of these. So it's not a huge deal. And luckily, this calculation doesn't affect any calculation on the model. So that's a very good thing. on down there. Okay. Any more of the SaaS models? I think that was, oh no, our startup SaaS, the basic original. Okay. We got a couple industry specific ones we've done. Car wash. Franchisor licensing. I can't, this model, the franchisor licensing model is so great. So much cool new logic in here from anything I've ever done. Love when that could happen. This is actually the last new model I've built before I started doing all the integrations and all the other templates. Oh, this one actually didn't need it. That's all right. Car wash franchise, equipment rental. I don't know if this one needed it either. We're gonna find out. So these I put it on each tab. Nope. So this one was fine because this payoff month was entered below this row. So we're good here. Don't save. And then that's all of them. So we did what? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This will be, so the mobile app, for the one we're working on, will be the 9th one. And I'm trying to work from most popular to least. I don't know how else, what other best way to do it, so that's what I'm doing. All right. So this is good. All these tabs are nicely formatted. Let's try and do some formatting on the income statement, balance sheet, cash flow, and then we'll probably wrap it up here. Which is just removing grid lines, updating the column with and then I'm gonna go probably run some stairs. So yeah, my goal is really to go slower on these. Really check them all, make sure there's no issues with references or errors, and really try to only do about one a week. And if I have extra stream time, either I won't stream that day or potentially I might work on a new model for the metaverse if I could get a good one. In this model, there's going to be a decent amount of updates that we'll have to do to the monthly and annual detail. That's actually the driver of the entire model, the monthly and annual detail. And because that references a lot of stuff on the global control that we'll have to update. Yeah, we'll get into that tomorrow. All right. Well, that's step one of the integration today, or the first round of integrations. Hopefully, tomorrow goes just as smooth. If you guys want to support the channel, like the video, subscribe, check out smarthelping.com. I've got hundreds of templates there, not just startup models. We've got stuff for accounting, tracking receivables, payables, inventory tracking, inventory forecasting, cash flow planning for inventory, FIFO, cost of goods sold, inventory valuation. That's probably one of the best templates I've ever done, based on FIFO, cost of goods sold. First in, first out methodology. This one here, one of the best templates I've ever done. It's really, really nice. We've also got HR department tools, a lot of stuff in Google Sheets, some Excel stuff, Gantt schedules, employee scheduling, training trackers, employee data trackers, HR hiring and firing, KPI dashboards with the scoring system by department for the entire organization. So lots of good stuff here. All kinds of stuff. Accounting, lending models. There's just hundreds of things that I've built over the years, and they're all organized here nicely. And we'll just keep on keeping on, and